All right, guys. Hello, good evening. I won't be here too long, but I wanted to come and speak a little bit about something as an authentic witch and psychic that has been running a witchy business for almost a decade now. I wanted to come and speak to you guys about if you not just thinking, not if you're just thinking about getting into the cards or uh maybe you may want to do a reading for yourself. Perhaps you want to do readings for other people, or you just may be curious about it. I want you to back away from the tarot deck and the oracle cards and the candles until you listen to this message. um I actually started dabbling, and that's all I was doing was dabbling. I started dabbling in the cards, not even in the cards, but just in magic, probably upwards to, oh, I'd say maybe about 15, 16 years ago. And I ended up dabbling in it, but then sort of walking away from it because I was doing it wrong and I shouldn't have been doing it. I should have sought guidance, which it's very, very difficult to find true guidance out there. It's really, really difficult. I feel that unless you are lucky enough to run into somebody like me, oftentimes I see people misguided because there's a lot of people that would want to take advantage of you if you're wanting to learn. And I ended up walking away from that experience because I didn't know what I was doing. And I had some experiences that, I didn't really like. And, it's already in my personality to accept and take responsibility. I had done some black magic on somebody, and it didn't really cause anything. It caused for me to not be able to sleep. And it was something that I eventually was able to clear myself of. And so when I got back into it at the right time, which was probably about the age of 35, was my time to get into it. And the one thing that my spirit guides pushed with me, and they made sure I was very disciplined at it, was cleansing and clearing and protecting myself from malevolent spirits. Before you even pick up that deck of tarot cards, I've got to warn you that there are actually spirits connected to those cards. When I got into it, back into it, when I started my company, my spirit guides made sure I didn't need anybody else to tell me that. They made sure that I was very consistent on the cleanses, and also making sure that I had things put into place to protect myself, to protect anybody that I'm doing a reading on, as well as protecting myself from things coming in. Because when you start throwing cards out there, you're opening up a gateway because of your intent to read either yourself or somebody else. Those tarot cards are not just playing cards. They're not. And you have to make sure that you take that into consideration, because I'm going to tell you something. I see it and y'all see it. People that get a hold of those cards and they get to dabbling and they lose their mind. I'm seeing it every day. All kinds of spirits getting attached to you, making you do things that you shouldn't, possessing you, you know, and that's why a lot of us that are in the business, well, I don't have to sit here and say, oh, I'm not doing it for the money. This is how I earn a living. But there's some people that practice and they're not doing it for the money. But you shouldn't do it as a hustle. That's no, that doesn't qualify. Being a witch and doing tarot cards does not qualify as a hustle. You cannot do this as a hustle. I see people every single day losing their minds because they're dabbling. If you already didn't have discipline within yourself prior to picking up those cards, what do you think is going to happen when you start throwing the cards? When you start playing around with them, thinking that you're playing, you end up running into a spirit that makes you do crazy things. You have to stay disciplined. Every day after I finish doing my readings for everybody and I shut it down, I clear myself. When I'm doing readings for another person, I make sure that I call to Saint Michael, who is a very powerful angel. That is my protection. It's Saint Michael. Everybody, I've noticed people talking about my protection. Well, Saint Michael is my main protection. So, and I don't question Saint Michael. Okay. And there are a few others that I go to, but Saint Michael is my main protection at all times. Okay. And he's very miraculous in the way he does things. You have to clear yourself and you have to be disciplined at it. You can't just say, oh, you can't do it. Even if I'm done doing professional readings for people that I'm doing on a professional level, if I'm just sitting there and I'm curious about something or somebody, or if I want to read something, I will clear myself. Now, I smoke cigarettes. So, cigarettes, all of my tobacco is consecrated to clear away malevolent spirits from doing harm to me. It's kind of one of the benefits of smoking because tobacco does what? Tobacco destroys negative spirits. It does. And, we know that tobacco has a bad reputation. But, if you look up the magical properties of tobacco, you don't have to inhale it. But, if you smoke a cigarette, you're already clearing out a lot of negative spirits from around you. It's just that, they could possibly harm the body. Okay. But, even with that, I'm doing some kind of clearing incantation. You can't be lazy. You have to be disciplined. Even if you're, okay, so let's say you're doing spiritual work, whether or not it's for yourself or anybody else. You are opening up a gateway. And I see people dabbling and playing around with it. I do. I see the results of people dabbling and playing around with it. You can get all kind of attachments. You can get all sorts of malevolent spirits on you, making you do weird stuff. Okay. And I've seen it. I see it almost every day when I decide to look at it. You can see it. That's one of the reasons why most tarot readers that come on this website reading tarot, they end up leaving because those spirits will come to them, and a lot of those spirits don't like you. They're malevolent. Next thing you know, you're doing weird, crazy stuff. You're obsessed with people. You're making up all kind of stuff, making a complete fool of yourself, saying things that don't make no dang on sense. It's a huge decision. The decision to go into this as a living for me was a decision that took me a decade to even prepare for. I had been preparing my whole life, but to actually make the decision to do spiritual work for people and to do readings for people took me 10 years to make that decision. You can't just say, oh, I just want a little bit of extra money, so I'm going to go and do this. No, nobody should be doing that. Oh, I can do a reading for somebody. Okay, you may be able to read for somebody, but are you disciplined enough to clear yourself? And see, there's a lot of people that they will see a reader, and I watch a lot of the amazing readers on here. Those that they'll see a reader, and you got a bad competitive spirit on you, and the competitive spirit has no home in spirituality. It doesn't, not really. But you'll have one of them bad competitive spirits on you where you think, oh, I'm jealous, or I'm this, I'm that, I'm envious, so I can do that too. I can do that. I just want to compete with somebody. I can do that too. And then the next thing, you got a negative spirit on you or a malevolent spirit on you. And let's face it, most of y'all do not know how to cleanse yourselves. And the next thing you know, you stalking somebody, you got a target, you gonna get somebody when really what you need to do is check yourself. Most of y'all have absolutely no idea how to actually cleanse yourself. You know what? In the new year, since the new year, I've done dozens and dozens of readings for people. And when I ask them, they'll say, well, I had a cleanse. Somebody gave me a cleanse. They sent me some cleansing powder. They sent me some cleansing herbs. And I'll ask them, I'll say, did you see the actual work that they did for you? Did you actually see what they did to cleanse you? No, I didn't see that. Well, if you're not cleansing with a white 7-day candle, then you didn't get a cleanse. So most people don't even know how to cleanse themselves. I get crap thrown at me every single day by people that know what they doing, but I know how to clear myself. So that's why I ain't going nowhere. That's why Divine Services is still standing and will remain. Especially if you are a tarot reader on here. I feel bad for some of these tarot readers because what you find is you go back to their channel and they're gone. And I saw this one girl on here. I'm not going to say her name, but I saw this one girl on here. And obviously, she had gotten a bad spirit on her from throwing the cards because she had put up a couple of readings on her channel. And she came on here saying something to somebody. And I'm like, is she trying to get that spirit off of her? People that are attacking people and projecting their crap to people, they've got bad spirits on them that they don't know how to get off of them. That's why they project. And so I'm sitting there looking and I'm like, who is she talking to? And this spirit says she talking to that nasty spirit that got connected to her. You can't do this without being a responsible person, a disciplined person that knows how to clear yourself. Also, you have to be an aware person. You have to know when a spirit has attached themselves to you. Yeah, Christian, of course I do. It's 50% off right now. I charge a lot of money with my tarot reading class because I actually teach you how to do a cleanse, I teach you defensive magic, and I teach you how to protect yourself. In the spirit realm, yeah, you do have to protect yourself from people. You do. But mainly what we're concerned about is negative spirits. Because negative spirits can really, really, really make you do some crazy stuff. So that's why my tarot class is priced the way that it is, because 2 hours of your class time is going to cover cleansing, protection, and warding. Yeah. Well, you're more than welcome, dear. Okay. Yeah, you have to know that stuff. Just learning what the cards mean. I do think it's important to learn the meanings of the cards because there's a science behind it. But I also think that once you do that, your skill level is going to advance on your own to where you can, and we actually do that to where you can not only do your readings by the meaning of the card, but then also by looking at the illustration of the card, because spirit will actually show you certain things in the card. There's other messages just than other than what the cards mean, you know what I'm saying? And so that's when you know that you have started to advance. But like sometimes I'll run into people doing readings, and they'll pull let's say the temperance card, and they'll pull the temperance card, they'll pull the devil card inverted, and they'll pull the world card inverted. And they'll say, "Oh, you need to be more patient with people." This card means patience. Well, yeah, you do need to be more patient, but you also need to be aware that there may be a spirit attached that you may have picked up while you traveled, and it looks like this, and it attached to you when you travel to this location. And then sometimes when you look at the cards, you can see the what the person looks like. You can see what area of the body that the spirit attached to. See, that is when you start to advance. You're no longer a beginner reader. Okay. But if you don't know the basics, that's just like if you touch a Ouija board. There's nothing wrong with it. It's called a spirit board, actually. That's what it's called. It's called a spirit board. And to me, there's nothing wrong with it. People are definitely afraid of spirit boards. Probably, I'm gonna actually do research on why people are so afraid of spirit boards. I think it came from a movie. That movie may have been based in actual fact of maybe somebody telling people about a spirit board, but in my humble opinion, I think it's the same thing. I think it's the fact that, people don't actually know that it's not just a game. And I think that's why. I think it's because they look at it as a game, and it's not just a game. You're actually connecting to spirits. You're opening up a gateway. The thing that you move around the spirit board, that may make a difference because it's a circle. It's a magnifying glass on some of them. That may be what it is, which is a catalyst for spirits to come through. Then also, when you look at a Ouija board made by the company Mattel, there's no protection emblem on there. So, for example, my spirit board has a picture of my spirit animal, which is a wolf, which protects me. Okay. So I don't worry about it. I can feel free to use my spirit board if I want. I'm still going to close the door. You have to close the door. You're opening a door, you have to close it. Otherwise, things will just keep coming in, coming in. Anything can come in. Okay. And you also have the ability to feel the spirit. If you consider yourself to be a psychic medium, then you're automatically an empath. So you can feel when a negative spirit has entered into the building. And you have to say, whoa, 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 wait a minute. Go. There have been times where I've been doing readings and seances for people, and a really, really nasty spirit will come through. I stop the reading and I clear. Even if I pull just a court card, court cards can be very scary. You should be concerned about pulling court cards because there's people that those are spirits. And some of them are spirit guides, but some of them are malevolent spirits. It's not about how everybody acts around you, it's about you, how you feel. I have people attack me every day. I don't feel attacked. I stay grounded. Now, those people that may be attacking me, they probably got a negative spirit attached to them that makes them attack somebody. And what it really is a cry for help. Okay. Because I've had a couple of tarot readers attack me on here, and they over there just playing with the cards. If you're gonna have a little drink or something when you doing the cards and everything. And this is something, um that's very serious. Okay. And it really, really depends on what spirits you're connected to. Sometimes you may open the gateway for spirits that you're connected to, spirits that may be connected to you from a past life. Eh, Christian, the emo witch, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna tell you something. Looking back historically at the cards, people that didn't know may have thought that they were just playing cards. The tarot was created by witches, by male witches, actually. Probably their wives that were witches too, but back in those times, women couldn't invent nothing during those times, so the men had to take credit for it. Okay, the tarot cards within themselves have spirits connected to them. Okay, so people may have thought of them as playing cards, but now playing cards themselves can be used um, as cards that you can read. For example, if you play a game of bid whist or spades with somebody, people don't realize, and because my family, let me tell y'all something. My family, they no, you should not get rid of them. No, just learn how to use them, learn how to protect yourself. I'm not saying get rid of them. I'm a witch. I read the cards. I have pendulums. I have stones. I have candles burning all around me. I love the cards. I'm telling y'all to use them wisely and use them safely, or those spirits can come up through them cards and hurt you. And see, my family, we used to always get together on Thursday and Friday nights to play cards. We played bid whist, you know what I'm saying? And I started to realize that people was really taking it to heart because I'm really good at bid whist. People would get mad. Shoot, how she win? I look back, they looking at me with stink eye. And I'm like, oh, come on now. Just because I beat you at some spades or something. How you get that lucky hand, they be mad. And they probably still mad to this day because I believe spirits are attached to playing cards. You're welcome. Yeah, Discover Top 10. You don't have to throw them away. Please don't. But just be disciplined. Okay, about clearing yourself. It only takes a couple of minutes to clear yourself. Okay, because them spirits will attach themselves to you and they will cause what? They will cause self harm. They will cause, people to do certain things because I noticed that the tarot community, and I'm not even talking about anybody that I have a beef with. Thank you for the super chat. I'm not even talking about anybody that I have a beef with. I'm talking about the tarot community exploded with warfare. And I'm sitting here like, what is going on? They're not it's because they're not clearing themselves after they use the cards. They're not covering themselves before they use the cards. They're just in a hurry trying to look at something. No. You have to discipline yourself. So there's a lot of tarot readers out here that need cleanses bad. They need to be cleansed. And you can't cleanse yourself with water is one element, earth is one element, is another element, which is either the dirt outside or either herbs, but you need fire. You can't cleanse yourself without fire. Now, I'm not saying set yourself on fire. I mean, you really gonna cleanse yourself if you say no. I'm saying you need a 7-day candle, and you can clear yourself. But people are not doing that, and so this is the reason why I don't have struggle. And I don't have that kind of struggle. Not really in my business. It keeps going and going and going. I have people buy readings from me every single day. Even though I know that there's possessed people out there that want to hate on me, that want to throw stuff at me, my business operates every single day because I clear myself. Once a month at the full moon, I do money work. Once a month at the new moon, I do money work and cleansing and clearing work. It's all very simple. You got LGBTQ. There, they put a plus on the end of it now. Okay, I didn't know they had those kind of decks. I use mainly I have been using the heck out of my modern witch tarot deck, but I'm ready to start using another one. And then also I've been wanting to break out my energy oracle deck. Okay. And and you can even tell that something is going on. I'm not even going to lie to you. I am a spiritualist. I do this professionally. I've had thousands of clients. And even I have to clear myself. What is the problem? Is it the egotistical? Is it the ego that is telling you, oh, I'm bad? I ain't got to do nothing. Yes, you do. Because at first, they kind of moved the goalposts. They say you don't need protection because you got to be badass. Then they moved it to, well, what protection is good enough? Well, let me tell you something. Saint Michael is going to be I swear. And a lot of people will, even Saint Michael will help even Satanists. He's a saint. Now, most Satanists, they go to Satan for their protection. Or either they call him Lucifer, or either they call him Beelzebub, or they call him, or some people go to Azazel. It depends on which one. you know. But Saint Michael is a saint. That, that's why they call them saints, because they will come and they will protect you. But you got to have some form of protection, and you have to invoke protection, not only for you but for the person that you're reading for. Because when you, like, for example, when people come to me and they say, Jamila, my spirit has been down and I ain't been feeling good, and I've been depressed and I've been angry. When I start to read you, I'm not just reading you, I'm reading that spirit. I'm calling that spirit out to the forefront. So if I call a spirit to the forefront and say, come forth, what is your message? And they may have a message for you, or either your spirit guides. So, of course, you want to call to your spirit guides, because spirit guides are not bad. A lot of people that did it wrong, they have a biased opinion based upon their negative experiences. And I've seen them to this day, making videos trying to discount what it is that we do, trying to discount the cards, saying it's bad, it's evil. No, you just didn't do what you were supposed to do, you know? And I'm not the type of person, because I'm going to tell y'all something. It's some people out here, they be serious about these cards. They stumble upon these videos people making and saying, oh, this the devil. Them stones are the devil. It's all the devil. And some of these people, they'll want you to shut your mouth. Because and see, I ain't like that. My spirits are just like, easy breezy. But you gotta be careful. See, I've right now discovered top 10. Um, I'm not in reading mode. I'm just speaking right now. Don't really feel up to doing any readings at the moment. Because I just did some spiritual work, and and I already cleared myself and stuff. Okay. Um, but thank you. I really, really, really appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah, if you're looking at my readings from a year ago and you're seeing that you have the same problems, the same personal problems. Okay, you can't look at the outsiders and what the people outside of you are doing. What is your mind doing? How are you feeling? How are you faring? If you go and you look at my readings from a year ago and you still have those same personal problems and personal issues within yourself, then it's gonna match this year. Yeah, it's gonna. Otherwise, I would do a reading for you. I would. But you're more than welcome to go and get. Hold on, shameless plug, real quick. Let me give you guys my newest coupon code for 20% off. You are more than welcome to schedule a private reading. When I do chat readings, they're not nearly as accurate though, because it's a lot of stuff that I hold back. So if you guys want a reading, I would strongly suggest you visit the website and put in Crossroads 20. But I mean, for me, when I first started my tarot channel, my spirit guides let me know quickly, you know, that there wasn't gonna be any real feasible guidance on this, where I was looking for it. So I had to get it internally through my spirit guides. And that's how I learned and taught myself, because honestly, there's too many people out here that are just competing. They real greedy. And so I just didn't get that guidance. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just out for themselves, and I totally understand. And I'm gonna tell y'all something. Sometimes when y'all reading these cards, you don't want to inhale it. You don't want to inhale it. But sometimes after you get done reading the cards, and that devil card come up and some of them court cards come up, you better throw a little pinch of sulfur, and then follow up with sandalwood on that incense coal. And you, okay, incense sticks are great, but a lot of incense sticks do not have the raw material, just fragrances and perfume. You can't get rid of a malevolent spirit with perfume. Just think about it. That's why you can't get rid of real funk with perfume. You can't cover it up with perfume. You still gonna still smell the smoke, the funk. So if you're gonna use an incense stick, then you need to use something where you can actually see the raw material, like copal, dragon's blood, or either a sage stick with some dragon's blood. Okay, because sage can sometimes attract malevolent spirits. They're sometimes attracted to sage. So that's why I wouldn't use sage alone. Sage is good, especially if you're doing a little tiny ritual on yourself. If you just want to clear yourself or something, that's okay. But I would also follow up. So you have to make sure, and like I said, you keep stock of those charcoals, those little tiny charcoals. And I use so many of them that I make sure that I get the ones that are not harmful, because I burn about 3 4 5 of them per day sometimes, and for some reason mine's burn up real quickly. And so you have to have something and know what to put on that charcoal briquette. Some of those spirits are so malevolent that smell of sulfur, they gone instantly. They'll leave your space. In fact, sulfur will put things into the void. They'll go into a void. So, and of course, you don't want to inhale it. You don't ever want to be in your house inhaling sulfur. One pinch of it is going to put that eggy smell in the air. Throw some sandalwood on it. You're going to clear out that whole house. You're going to clear out your whole house, because it's going to create a doorway for that stuff to leave. You cannot do these readings if you are not disciplined and you don't have the proper tools. Otherwise, you can become possessed by an unfamiliar spirit. Okay. And of course, that spirit ain't going to necessarily make you forget everything, everybody that you know. Is going to actually attach to everything that you may be attached to. And the next thing you know, you're looking crazy and you're doing crazy stuff. And on a side note, I kind of get stalked on this website. And for a minute there, I would come on here and I would do exorcism incantations. I'm no longer doing that. My spirits are not letting me do that anymore. People need to learn to become disciplined at what they're doing. I'm not helping anybody anymore. I'm sorry, I can't do it. And of course I can set my intent to purposely not help those people. But if you're gonna be dabbling, you need quit. First of all, quit dabbling. But if you're going to be using the cards, if you're going to be doing magic, if you're going to be sending spells out there, it's not High Priestess Jamila's job. It's not a part of my job description to clear you. Because, and even if I state the incantation, that doesn't mean that you need to follow up with a 7-day candle after that. The first tarot deck that I ever owned, Christian, is the Miss Cleo deck. And they actually they released a movie about Miss Cleo. I think they're either releasing it or they already released it. And I'm curious about it. I'm curious about that movie. So I think it's either going to come out on HBO Max or either Netflix. And so yeah, but it was the Miss Cleo deck. And that's a good deck. I don't care about all of the controversy around Miss Cleo. I'm talking about that deck is excellent. In fact, I want to get another one. I want to get one of those decks because the illustrations are really good. Her deck actually closely resembled the Rider Waite deck, if I'm not mistaken. And Rider Waite is really good. And I, to this day, I've never owned a Rider Waite tarot deck. Okay. I've never owned one of them. And I want to get one because I'm curious as to the messages that I'm going to get just with just the illustrations by itself. But see, there's I have different decks that get, that I read differently from. For example, my pagan tarot deck. I don't even have all of the cards with that deck. Like, I think I lost a couple of the cards. They're somewhere around. I don't know how it happened, but I think I lost one or two of them. But I can still take that pagan tarot deck and read specifically based upon the illustrations of the deck. So you can still use your tarot deck even if you lose one or two or three of the cards. Because you can, and because that deck I've always just strictly read it. Just when I use that deck, I just look at the illustrations and that's it. So yeah, yeah, that was actually a good deck though. That was that was the deck that I learned on, and it was the deck that I used for at least a year. And that deck will bring good luck to you too. That Miss Cleo, everybody want to talk about Miss Cleo. Man, she just got caught up in that Hollywood stuff, man. And they told her what to do. They gave her the deal and she did it, man. But other than that, I feel like her deck and her teachings, I still feel that she's a good teacher. Just learn the lesson from her experience. You know what I'm saying? Don't go get caught all up in that Hollywood stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that's basically what happened. And that's how she ended up falling from grace the way that she did. Because she got tied up with Hollywood, and they were saying that her accent wasn't genuine and that it wasn't a genuine accent or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I like her deck actually. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Well, if you get something at the Goodwill, it's gonna be used anyway. But yeah. Somebody probably got that deck, and they thought, oh, I'm just gonna throw the cards, and you know, and even if you say, God protect me, or you say a prayer to God before you throw the cards, if you're not clearing yourself afterwards, God even told you, I can't protect you from that. God even told you that. Spirit guides will tell you that. All of it is a manifestation of God. Saint Michael, manifestation of God. Satan, manifestation of God. God created Satan. We have to remember that stuff. So if you are, even if you throw the cards, clear yourself with smoke or even water, or anointing yourself. But I would say use smoke and intent. And that would be, some kind of incantation. Okay. It's very simple. It takes as little as 2 minutes. Now, I would suggest doing a more deeper, if you do a reading for somebody and they have a lot of issues, then you may want to do something a little bit deeper. Otherwise, just saying smoke of air and fire of earth, cleanse and bless this home and earth, drive away. And you can say hearth. I mean, it's actually pronounced hearth. Of course, I know that. Cleanse it. Wait a minute. Smoke of air and fire of earth, cleanse and bless this home and hearth. Drive away all harm and fear, and only good may enter here. And if spirits threaten us in this place, fight fire by fire and water by water. Banish their souls into nothingness and remove their powers until the last trace. Let these evil beings flee through time and through space. How long did that take? 2 minutes? And that's pretty much all you have to do. And so a lot of people be like, ooh, that stuff is bad. It's bad. Ooh, black cat. Ooh. Now, some of us have gotten so experienced with it, to where, we can just go ahead and do readings and then maybe clear ourselves at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But with some of these spirits that been popping up, I mean, my goodness, I think that we done went to the pits, and we're gonna have to go back up. You know, the world right now kind of reminds me of the basil seed. Right now, what's happening in the world? Y'all know that basil is the only plant that traveled to hell and came back. So I kind of look at the world and people on this earth is sort of like that, because that's where, I mean, we are in the pits and we going right back up. You know, it's just as, it just, as a collective is what's happening, because things are pretty bad in the world when you look at the world, man, especially with everything that's going on with that recent thing over there. And then also look at the colors that you wear. A lot of the times, and I'll have a black shirt on because black will deflect any negative energy away from you. But I wear a pentacle. Now there's people that are scared of the pentacle. Why, I don't know. I you know and there's a lot of people that are curious about it, but at the same time they scared. And that just don't make no sense. That's just like skydiving with a bunch of fear in your heart. You can't do that, because then you end up psyching yourself out. Okay. So, just make sure that you clear yourself. Don't touch that stuff. A lot of y'all will go to the Botanica and y'all will light these doom candles, because y'all be mad and angry. That's another thing. Never, ever, ever do magic when you angry unless you know how to channel it. A lot of y'all will pick up them doom candles and you be angry and you don't consecrate them and you just like, ah, da, da, da. And then the next thing you know, you dealing with a problem. You either feeling sick or, something happened. So, how many tarot decks do you have, Christian? You're supposed to keep all of your tarot decks in a bag with a stone in them. That's the preferred way of keeping your tarot decks. Now, I don't do that, but I clear my decks so much. Clear your decks too. After you consecrate it initially, after you do a reading, hold it over the smoke, wave it back and forth over the smoke, and just simply say, I clear this deck, I clear out any negative spirits, and then you'll be fine. Okay, now there are some people on this website with an obvious agenda against witches and witchcraft, which, man, I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. I'm sending out extra love and hugs to all of the witches, because they treat us like dirt. They treat us like dirt. They use us and treat us like dirt, man. You know what I'm saying? They like it's unfair. It's you know what I do? I go and I just clear myself and I take a nice hot shower or bath, and I just think happy thoughts. But it's just really sad the way we get discriminated against, the way they just think they can just say whatever they want to say to us. They just like it just it's wrong. It's wrong. And especially if they're from the church or if they're religious, okay, fine. You're causing discrimination and hate. Okay, okay, fine. But did you ever stop to think about that it ain't the witch's fault? Like, they try to blame us for everything that goes wrong. And that ain't right. They do. The Bible did not say that spirits didn't exist. The Bible said don't talk to them. That's what the Bible said. So it didn't tell you that, I don't. I don't think anywhere in the Bible did it say, oh, well, you know, I mean, even in the Bible, they had resins and they burned stuff and they, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, try to make sure that you keep your tarot decks up, you know, and maybe in a tarot bag or something. You can buy those organza pouches. You can get them like 20 of them for, you know, $5 or $10, you know. And just put a little stone in there for protection. And then that way stuff ain't just coming through the cards, because that's why a lot of people, you know, when they get spiritual items, witchy items in their house, and they have an intuition to throw it out, right? They'll just throw it away, but it's because they don't keep it correctly. They don't, you know, a lot of people are not keeping that stuff or keeping an eye on that stuff. And even with crystals, you know, crystals can hold on to energy. Crystals can. So, you know, you just got to be careful with it, okay? What do tarot card readers mean when they say you're protected? Or they, well, I guess maybe they're saying that because they've, you know, protected you during the reading, or maybe they may pull a card that lets you know that you're protected. There may be a spirit guide that may come up in the reading that wants to reassure the person that they're protected. So that may be what they mean by that. Now, I will tell you this: if you are a person that does not know anything about tarot readers, and I do see people that are not into the tarot at all or witchcraft, and they will sort of be like, but you do need to be concerned if you know that somebody's dabbling and they're throwing the cards on you. Be concerned about that. If somebody is constantly reading you, you do need to be concerned about that, because it depends on how they read. It depends on their intent. So even though you may be Christian, you may be, you know, you may not even touch the stuff. But if somebody, you know, and if somebody's throwing the cards on you, doing work on you, then you do need to be concerned about that, because you never know what, you know, their intent might be, because you can also use the tarot cards to curse somebody. So it's just like a photographer. If somebody takes a picture of you, you're going to be seen in that picture as they wanted you to be seen in that picture, right? So, for example, if you come to me to get a reading and I can see currently what's going on, I can see what happened in the past, but then I may see something devastating happen in the future. The future can always change. You can always change an outcome into a better situation. But if a tarot reader don't like you, they can say, you know, they can see something happening and they can say, good, I hope this happens, right? So just be careful. To be protected, really, honestly, I believe that protection, um, it's a lot of different levels of protection. Protection from death would be the top one. Protection from being physically murdered. Okay. But then also, protection is needed from negative influences. Negative influences, you know, when you're negatively influenced to do something, or when you're negatively you know what I'm saying? So protection comes in, it's for many, many different things. Okay. It's a lot of different things that you have to watch out for out there. Medical witchcraft, people doing things to make you develop certain symptoms. Um, a witch can basically take a skull candle and mess with you with it. That's why it's important to protect your head. Because, people can mess with your head. And there are such things as mind control spells, zombie spells. I mean, it's a lot out there to look out for. That's why this one of the okay, when it comes to Christians and stuff, okay, when it comes to people that are devoutly in their religion, I actually feel bad for them sometimes because you know, it's not when you depend on that alone. To me, I just don't feel that I don't feel it's like it's enough. And I know a lot of people are going to disagree with that. And some people, the only reason why they disagree with it is because they haven't walked that tightrope. They ain't walked the line yet. So it's real easy to sit in a corner and not make any moves, and you just sitting there, and that's all you doing is sitting there, right? You're not going out on that limb. You're not making moves, right? So it's real easy for you to sit in a dark cave and say, oh God and Jesus, because nobody's accessing you. But let's face it, in the real world where you live, where you have to actually go out there and talk to people, you have to deal with people. In my humble opinion, I don't believe it's good enough. I don't believe it's enough. Okay. And so, I hope I'm not insulting anybody or triggering anybody, but it is what it is. Okay. And there are several things in witchcraft that honestly does bring great protection to people. In particular, if your life is in danger, if your health is in danger, if your livelihood is in danger. Okay. So, and everybody's relationship with the gods is different. Um, and I think it's levels to it. I think it's levels to it. Okay. So I see a lot of people do readings on celebrities, like, for example, Justin Bieber. Well, they better be clearing themselves. That's all I know. This people do celebrity readings because, obviously you may get some views from doing that. You know what I'm saying? And so that's why people do that. And then people are generally curious about celebrities. So, I don't particularly have time, but I prefer to do readings on everyday people. That's just like I was gonna go. I plan on doing a whole series on this channel. It's so much uproar in the spiritual community, though, that it's very hard to get to even do things like that. So I got the hiccups, y'all. That's good. I got good luck coming. So, but yeah, man, don't be picking that stuff up and like and so the longer a malevolent spirit has been with you, the harder it is to get rid of it. So some of y'all that started reading 10 years ago, from the first time you picked up them cards, you got to think back. Were you misguided? Did you do the right thing? Okay. And we in trouble, y'all, because they be running around here trying to make it seem like the angels are bad people. We in trouble. You know, we are. And I'm telling you, because that is incorrect information. The reason why I love angels is because they are totally unbiased, in my humble opinion. Okay. And then, of course, when it comes to witchcraft, there's a lot of people, they'll dabble in it and they'll go and they spells won't work, you know. And because it's a lot of people out there that I could literally big them up right now. I could literally call their name out and let them know that they spell work, but I'm not doing it because they've been hateful to me. I could literally big you up right now, send you some clients, literally could big you up right now, but I'm not going to do it. And the reason why I'm not going to do it is because I think that some people need to take a break and sit down somewhere and quit and stop. Okay. So that's why I ain't gonna do it. That's why I'm not gonna do it. Okay. Um, I was getting ready to say something about that though. It's obvious when somebody got a bad spirit put off on them that they need to get to get rid of. And I'm talking about in their person. I'm not talking about external. People are always looking at the external to judge themselves. You can't do that. I mean, it can give you a clue as to what's going on, but you have to actually look at your own thoughts, what you're thinking about, what you're talking about. You have to be able to have self accountability. That's what that hermit card is all about, and I'm definitely a hermit, but I'm not in a sense to where people think, you know what I'm saying, as far as being isolated and all that mess. No, that's not what it is. It's just that I always look internally before I look at the external. In fact, the external, if it's my children, because your children, even though they're your children or your mate or your friends, okay, well, friends, but I'm talking about people that are extremely close to you, okay. You have to look at them, but people that are external to you, that's somebody on the outside. You have to look at self first. Why am I thinking this? Why am I doing this? What am I doing? You know? And if you're unable to do that, then perhaps a negative spirit got put on you, inside of you, not on the outside, not on the outside. See, this is where you got to be careful and have your own identity too. Most of the time, I see these malevolent spirits giving people identity issues. And when I say that, it makes people kind of, and that's when people will start having attachment issues. So all of that, which is very self-destructive to self, all of those things will then create a chain of events in your life that are not good. Okay. So, and because what a malevolent spirit may want you to do, that's that spirit that's doing that, that's making you do that. And they will sit on you. They'll sit on you or either beside you, waiting for the opportunity to jump in you. And you don't have to be a medium to have that happen. Spirits can possess people, and they're not a medium, is a professional term for a reader that communes with spirits. That's a professional term. That's not just a generalized term. For you to call yourself a medium, that means that you have control over it. Now, I know a lot of people that factually have spiritual gifts that they do need to get control over. So if I do a reading for you and I tell you you're a medium, but you just don't have control over it. So right now you're just being bombarded by spirits. You know what I'm saying? But to be called a medium or a clairaudience or a clairvoyant, that's a compliment, but that means that you have control over it. Otherwise, you're just gonna run around here looking cray cray. And I will tell you that, uh you know, I always feel like I'm making sense unless I'm angry about something. Now, I was making perfect sense. I feel like even when I start to get angry, I'm still making perfect sense. It's just me because I'm not egotistical. I'm just perfect. Okay, I do, and so it's a fact. A lot of things I'll be talking about be the facts of life. But of course, people are going to agree or going to disagree with me just because it's me. They don't like me. They have a problem with me. So it's not going to stop me from speaking the truth. So, but there's some people that, some of the behaviors that you'll see coming from people that don't make no sense, because it should make sense of some sort. But, you know, a lot of the times it don't. And sometimes you just have to, don't go deeper into it. You got to stop yourself, because it's a lot of stuff that it's a lot of stuff in this world that people don't see, portals and doorways and gateways that people don't see. And it's not about having eyesight or being able to see, or if you got 20/20 vision. It's all about your spiritual eyesight. So even though you walking down the same road every day, it may be a crossroads that may open up for you, that either God created for you to learn something, or either that somebody else may have created for you to do harm to you. Okay. So just be aware of that and you'll be okay. It's not something that you have to sit and obsess about 24/7. Believe it or not, even though I am a professional witch and reader, I still live a normal life, you know, unless an emergency pops up, you know what I'm saying, which is rare. But other than that, I cook dinner, eat dinner, exercise, watch TV, play my little video games just like anybody else. You know, I'm just glad that currently I'm glad that I'm not on those, because for a while spirit had me, doing these shifts, and now I see why. Why was I up during the graveyard shift? Because there was work that needed to be done. So just go with the flow, quit freaking out, listen to what spirit is saying to you. Now if a spirit tells you to do something that you shouldn't do, then you don't do it, you know because I was looking at this one video and this girl, she was really really upset. She said, my spirit guides, you know what they told me? They told me to commit suicide. And I said, well, that wasn't your spirit guides, that was something evil. And then she proceeded to say tarot is evil. And I can honestly confirm that old girl was still under possession by that spirit. Because the reason why a malevolent spirit will tell you that tarot is evil, because it doesn't want you to discover it. It don't want you to know nothing. Negative malevolent spirits don't want you to know nothing. They want you to be completely ignorant. Okay? Major arcanas is basically an energy shift. Okay? That means that some kind of big energy shift is coming. Some kind of big event is coming, is what that means. Okay? Otherwise, it's, you just read the major arcanas just like any other card, but that's to let you know, okay, this is an energy shift coming up. Now, as far as the even numbers, I mean, they all have a meaning based upon numerology and numbers and energies and vibrations of numbers. Um, all of them are telling you different things in different ways, basically. So there's no distinguishing. Now, it depends on how you look at it. It depends on how you program your deck. For example, if you're looking for a yes or a no answer, and you program your deck to give you major arcanas and even numbers as a yes, then you know that you have a yes answer. If you program your deck, you can program your deck to give you, odd numbers and court cards to represent a yes answer. So it's all about how you set the intent to get the answers that you need, but they shouldn't switch up, unless intuitively you're seeing something else. Because I've even noticed with those yes or no answers, you have to be careful with them, because sometimes spirit may be saying to you, hey, don't focus on that, focus on this. So you may already know the yes or no answer, but you need to focus on this, and that. That's kind of why spirit didn't really want me working for like the psychic hotline and stuff, because you know you got to actually take the time to read the situation. 5 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, that ain't enough. Okay. So you got to be, be careful, extremely careful with that. But the corporations, they want to buy us out, right? The corporations sometimes want to buy us out or whatever. It's all about being sovereign and learning how to work with the energies of the word sovereignty. That's in any field that you're in. I know a lot of the caretakers, because I have a lot of clients that are caretakers. What they've noticed is that the agencies want control over caretaking, so it's one of them things, you know what I'm saying? And the past couple of years, people, well, I'd say the past year, people have literally deviated more and more and more away from liberation, and it's scary. And I don't have nothing to do with that. No, thank you. I'll take my liberation and my sovereignty. Thank you. Yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, I ain't trying to. I do just fine. I do just fine on my own. No, I'm not lonely. No, thank you. Okay, but that's just me. I'm not judging nobody, but I've noticed that people have deviated away from that to where they want management. We got tarot readers out here that are looking for somebody to manage them, and I'm like, we ain't the same. Okay, but y'all do what y'all do. Okay, clearly it I guess it works for them. I don't know what they're arguing about. I guess if it was working for them truly, they wouldn't be arguing about nothing with nobody. Court cards are simply messengers. It depends on which ones that you get, Christian. It really does. It depends on what that reading is telling you. It really does, honestly. Depends on the question. It depends on the order that the cards are being laid out. Here lately, I've been reading my cards just like a book, but I do still use layouts to where it's a specific spot for a specific energy. Okay, or like, of course, we'll always have the classic current, past, and future spreads, but you can still read what's going on currently, what happened in the past and in the future just by laying 10 cards out in a row or either stacking them on top of each other, you know, not stacking them on top, but, having 5 cards laid out, then another 5 cards and another 5 cards laid out, and you can look at it, you know what I'm saying? And see what's going on and see the full picture of it. Okay. So, yeah, but I love what I do. And they've got like the spirit, I was about to say spiral, the spirit witchy diversion program. Nah, ain't gonna work on me. None of it. It's always a diversion because I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? I love what I do. And I feel very, very comfortable within self. Doesn't matter what anybody else is saying or doing. It's how do I feel within self? Okay. Oh yeah, the Celtic crossbred. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Just be careful with it. Yeah, you do need to be careful. You do need to be careful when you are using the cards, especially if you're dabbling. I'd say that you should at least have basic knowledge of witchcraft, which basic knowledge would be learning how to clear yourself and protect yourself. It would be basic knowledge of the craft. But a lot of people are out here using tarot cards while having an obvious hatred for witchcraft. Make it make sense to me. It's never going to work that way. And Tarot Queen Jamila is not attacking you because of that. It ain't Tarot Queen Jamila. It ain't High Priestess Jamila. It might be the spirit of witchcraft. It might be Hecate attacking you. It ain't me. I'm over here taking care of my family and doing my spell work and stuff for my clients and doing readings. You know what I'm saying? Good night, Christian. Yeah. So, and you see them, people be confused. They be over there. They have a tarot deck and man, and they have an obvious and apparent hatred for witchcraft and witches. Okay, well, don't dance with the devil in the pale moonlight then, you know? And that's not to say that Christians can't read because you see Christian tarot card readers. I'm not saying that. Christianity was derived from paganism. It's all paganism. So I don't understand what everybody is fighting for. I still don't understand. I still don't get it. It's you know what I'm saying? I can do an entire reading on somebody with the dice. I don't really know how to read bones. I've never read the bones, but I've read dice. I can read your dice. I haven't done it in a while. Okay. I can see everything that's going on just with the dice. And it ain't based upon the dice game. It's just based upon the patterns that I see when I throw the dice out there. Okay. So there's many, many different ways of divinating, you know. And so anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this discussion. Thank you for bringing this up, Christian. Yes, I do offer classes. Yes, I am very knowledgeable. Yes, I do know what I'm doing. And I do offer those classes, and they are confidential. Okay. So, and you can learn from somebody that has hands on experience for years. Okay. All right, guys. I will see y'all later. Blessings to y'all. Bye bye.